Welcome to the May 2026 Horoscope forecast. It's essential to note that these insights are grounded in Vedic Astrology, which accounts for the approximately 24-degree difference from the tropical zodiac. May 2026 is a decisive and transitional month, shaped by a clear shift from pressure and preparation into action and visible progress. The planetary structure supports this movement in a very direct way. The first half of the month carries the weight of responsibility, discipline, and internal adjustment, while the second half opens pathways for execution, results, and expansion. This is not a passive month. It is a period where timing, awareness, and controlled action determine outcomes. At the start of May, Saturn continues its steady transit in Pisces, influencing Taurus, Virgo, and Sagittarius through its aspects. This creates a background of realism and accountability across financial stability, daily responsibilities, and long-term direction. Saturn in Pisces is not only about limitation, but about facing reality without distraction. It demands clarity in decisions, emotional maturity, and consistent effort. At the same time, Mars is also in Pisces during the opening phase, forming a conjunction with Saturn. This combination slows down impulsive action and replaces it with effort that requires patience. Many people will feel that progress is possible, but only through sustained work and controlled energy. Rushing does not work under this influence. Precision and discipline do. Alongside this, the Sun is strongly placed in Aries in exaltation, joined by Mercury. This brings confidence, clarity, and sharp thinking. There is a strong desire to move forward, speak clearly, and take initiative. The presence of Saturn and Mars in Pisces creates a contrast between inner readiness and external delay. The first half of the month is best used for planning, preparing, and positioning rather than forcing outcomes. Mental clarity is high, but physical execution requires patience. The most important turning point comes on May 11th, when Mars moves from Pisces into Aries. This is a major shift in momentum. Mars enters its own sign, gaining strength and directness. At the same time, it joins the exalted Sun and Mercury, forming a powerful combination that lasts for a short but impactful window. This period marks the transition from preparation to action. Energy becomes direct, decisions become faster, and the ability to take initiative increases sharply. This is one of the strongest action phases of the month. It supports leadership, competition, bold communication, and decisive movement in career and personal goals. This combination also requires control. When Mars, Sun, and Mercury come together in a fire sign, the intensity rises. Speech becomes sharp, reactions become faster, and ego sensitivity increases. If handled without awareness, this can lead to conflicts, especially in professional environments or close relationships. If handled with discipline, it becomes a period of breakthroughs, clear decisions, and strong forward movement. On May 14th, the tone of the month begins to soften as Venus moves into Gemini and joins Jupiter. This conjunction is one of the most beneficial influences of May. Venus represents relationships, comfort, and financial flow, while Jupiter represents growth, wisdom, and expansion. Together in Gemini, they bring opportunities through communication, networking, learning, and skill-based work. This shift adds ease after the intensity of the first half. Social interactions improve, financial opportunities expand, and relationships become more open and engaging. Jupiter remains in Gemini throughout the month, aspecting Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius, where Rahu is placed. The connection between Jupiter and Rahu forms a supportive trine, creating opportunities through unconventional paths, technology, communication platforms, and new ideas. This combination favors those who are willing to think differently and adapt to changing environments. Growth comes through flexibility, not rigidity. It is a strong indication that innovation and communication will play a major role in success during this period. Rahu in Aquarius continues to amplify ambition, future-oriented thinking, and non-traditional approaches. It pushes toward expansion in areas connected to networks, digital platforms, and large-scale systems. At the same time, Ketu in Leo creates detachment from ego-driven validation and outdated expressions of identity. Together, Rahu and Ketu shift focus from personal recognition to collective relevance. This axis encourages moving away from self-centered decisions and toward broader impact. The Sun moves from Aries into Taurus on May 15th, followed by Mercury. This transition shifts attention from action and assertion toward stability, finances, and material security. The energy becomes more grounded. Decisions begin to focus on value, sustainability, and practical outcomes. The new moon in Taurus on May 16 strengthens this theme, marking a fresh start in financial planning, resource management, and long-term stability. It is a favorable time to set clear financial goals and build systems that support consistent growth. By the end of the month, Mercury enters Gemini on May 29, joining Venus and Jupiter. This creates a strong concentration of energy in Gemini, emphasizing communication, trade, learning, and intellectual exchange. This is one of the most productive phases for business, writing, negotiations, and idea-driven work. Clarity in communication becomes a major advantage, and those who can express ideas effectively will see tangible results. The two full moons add emotional depth and clarity at key points in the month. The full moon in Libra on May 1 highlights relationships, balance, and fairness. It brings awareness to how energy is exchanged in partnerships and where adjustments are needed. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31 brings intensity and transformation, especially in areas related to shared resources, emotional bonds, and hidden dynamics. It encourages honesty and the release of what is no longer stable. To accurately assess the impact of these transits, it's crucial to consider your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign provides insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you'll emotionally respond to these changes. Additionally, consider the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your current Dasha period. These specific outcomes will depend on individual Dasha periods and how these transits interact with your natal planetary placements. If you are currently in Jupiter's Mahadasha period, its transit influence will be particularly prominent. Remember, the effects of these transits vary for each person. Let's explore how they may affect you based on your zodiac sign and the houses they transit. For Aries, May 2026 is a month that builds in intensity and delivers its strongest energy in the second half. The first 10 days carry a dual focus. Saturn and Mars are together in Pisces, your 12th house, while the exalted Sun and Mercury are in Aries, your first house. This means your personal energy and mental sharpness are already elevated from the very beginning of May, but the physical drive that comes from Mars as your chart ruler is still operating from a restrained and behind-the-scenes position until May 11th. Once Mars enters your first house on May 11th, the shift is immediate and significant. You have the exalted Sun, Mars in its own sign, and Mercury all meeting in your first house simultaneously for a 5-day window between May 11th and May 15th. This is one of the most personally powerful short periods available in your chart this year, and if you know what you want, this is when you go after it directly. Venus starts the month in Taurus in your second house in its own sign, supporting income and personal comfort from the opening days. Jupiter in Gemini continues to hold your third house throughout May, and its aspects on your 7th, 9th, and 11th houses keep relationships, fortune, and social gains active throughout the month. On the career front, the period before May 11th is still productive, just in a different way. The exalted Sun and Mercury in your first house from the start of May give you authority, mental sharpness, and strong professional communication. This window from May 1st to May 11th is excellent for planning, proposing, writing, and positioning yourself. Mercury is your 6th and 3rd house lord, and in your first house it makes you sharp, persuasive, and effective in any professional context that requires precision. After May 11th, when Mars arrives in your first house, your professional drive escalates. The 5 days from May 11th to May 15th are your peak window for direct professional action, including high-stakes conversations, leading meetings, or making moves you have been preparing for. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury shift into your second house and the professional energy turns toward income negotiations and financial outcomes from your career work. Jupiter aspecting your 11th house throughout the month keeps professional networking consistently productive, and opportunities through existing contacts carry real weight in May. Financially, Venus in your second house in its own sign from the start of May is a strong signal for personal income and financial stability. Your second house is activated by its own ruler sitting in it, which is one of the more favorable income placements available. Money earned through your own effort and skill is well supported during the first 2 weeks. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your second house, and this is an excellent moment for starting a savings plan, making a considered financial commitment, or setting clear income goals for the coming weeks. After May 14th, Venus moves into Gemini and joins Jupiter in your third house. This Venus and Jupiter conjunction in the third brings income opportunities through communication, short-term projects, creative work, and local business activity. Saturn in your 12th house continues to create some hidden or foreign-related expenses throughout May. Track your spending carefully, especially around travel, foreign transactions, and background financial activity. In love and relationships, the full moon in Libra on May 1st falls in your 7th house of partnerships, and this is the most relationship-focused date of the opening week. Something in a key relationship reaches a natural peak or a point of honest clarity around this date. Jupiter aspects your 7th house from your 3rd house throughout May, bringing wisdom and genuine growth to long-term partnerships. If there are important conversations to have about where a relationship is heading, May offers a constructive and mature atmosphere for them. Venus in your 2nd house in the first half adds warmth and a desire for comfort and security in love. After May 14th, the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 3rd house adds lightness, conversation, and genuine enjoyment to your romantic interactions. The second full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 8th house, and around that date deeper and more emotionally charged relationship themes are likely to surface. On the family and social front, Jupiter in your 3rd house is a positive placement for siblings, close friends, and your immediate community. Conversations are warm and productive, and relationships with people nearby carry real value this month. Mars and Saturn together in your 12th house until May 11th keep some social activity happening in private or in foreign settings rather than in your usual circles. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 1st house, your social energy becomes more direct and visible. Saturn's aspect on your 9th house can create some friction with mentors or father figures around long-term beliefs or plans. Approach these situations with patience rather than force. Health in May follows the rhythm of the month. Mars and Saturn together in your 12th house until May 11th can cause fatigue, restless sleep, and low-grade physical tension. Even though the Sun in your 1st house gives you mental confidence, your body needs genuine rest during the opening 10 days. Do not confuse mental alertness with physical readiness and push too hard. From May 11th, when Mars enters your 1st house, your physical vitality rises sharply. This is when your energy and stamina genuinely improve and your body feels more capable and driven. Saturn's aspect on your 6th house throughout the month is actually helpful for maintaining discipline in your health routines. Use it to build consistent habits around food, sleep, and movement that you sustain beyond May. The new moon on May 16th is a good moment to commit to a health practice you can maintain going forward. Overall, May 2026 is a month where Aries builds steadily toward a powerful peak in the 2nd week. The 5 days from May 11th to May 15th are your most personally charged and action-ready window of the month. Use the first 10 days to prepare, then act with full intention when Mars arrives in your sign. For Taurus, May 2026 brings genuine financial strength and personal confidence, with some of the most positive income indicators of the year arriving right at the start. Venus in Taurus itself in your 1st house in its own sign brings personal warmth, physical well-being, natural attractiveness, and financial magnetism all simultaneously. Jupiter in Gemini in your 2nd house aspects your 6th, 8th, and 10th houses, creating multifaceted support. The Sun in exaltation in Aries in your 12th house at the beginning moves into your 1st house on May 15th, transforming the 2nd half into a period of strong personal energy and visibility. 2 full moons focus specific life areas. The full moon in Libra falls in your 6th house on May 1st, and the full moon in Scorpio falls in your 7th house on May 31st. On the career front, the most powerful career signal for Taurus in May is Rahu in Aquarius in your 10th house, with Jupiter in your 2nd house aspecting it directly. This is an ambitious and expansive career placement. Rahu in the 10th pushes for visibility in large organizations, unconventional career growth, and opportunities that arrive through technology or public-facing platforms. Jupiter aspecting this from your 2nd house connects professional advancement directly to income growth, meaning career progress this month translates relatively quickly into better financial outcomes. Mars begins the month in Pisces in your 11th house alongside Saturn, keeping your professional network active and creating drive within group settings, though some friction within those groups is also possible. On May 11th, Mars moves into your 12th house, shifting professional energy toward behind-the-scenes work, foreign-related projects, or remote work arrangements. Saturn in your 11th house as your 10th lord keeps career development steady and rewards long-term professional consistency throughout the month. The full moon in your 6th house on May 1st brings a work matter to a clear resolution early in the month, whether related to a task, a colleague, or a workplace responsibility. Financially, May is one of the stronger months of the year for Taurus. Venus in your 1st house in its own sign at the start of the month creates a naturally productive financial atmosphere. You attract opportunity through your personal presence, creative output, and the genuine confidence you carry right now. Jupiter in your 2nd house is a direct financial benefit, expanding personal income, savings, and assets. From the 2nd house, Jupiter aspects your 6th house, supporting income through service-oriented daily work. Jupiter also aspects your 8th house, bringing wisdom to joint financial matters and shared investments. And Jupiter aspects your 10th house, reinforcing the connection between career performance and financial reward. Saturn is in Pisces in your 11th house and aspects your 1st house throughout the month. This is a steady reminder to stay disciplined with personal finances, build genuine financial reserves, and avoid overspending on comfort during what may feel like an abundant period. From May 14th, the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 2nd house begins. This is one of the most favorable financial combinations in Vedic astrology, and having it in your house of personal income creates a genuinely supportive environment for money to grow. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 1st house and is an excellent moment to begin a new financial plan, set income goals, or make a purchase that adds lasting personal value. In love and relationships, the full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 7th house of marriage and partnership, making it the most emotionally significant relationship date of the month. Feelings run high around this date, and conversations that have been waiting to happen are likely to surface naturally. Jupiter in your 2nd house aspects your 8th house, which supports genuine emotional intimacy and honest financial conversations within close partnerships. Venus in your 1st house at the start of May makes you warm, personable, and naturally appealing. After May 14th, when Venus moves into your 2nd house and joins Jupiter, the relationship energy shifts toward shared values, financial security within partnerships, and the kind of stable and comfortable closeness that Taurus most naturally gravitates toward. For single Taurus individuals, the Venus and Jupiter combination in the 2nd house from May 14th is a supportive time for meeting someone whose values genuinely align with yours. On the family and social front, Ketu in Leo in your 4th house continues to create a reflective and sometimes unsettled quality at home. Old family patterns may resurface quietly, and some family members may seem more inward or preoccupied than usual. This is a passing dynamic rather than a lasting shift. Jupiter in your 2nd house is a positive influence on family financial stability and the material comfort that supports close family relationships. Mars in your 11th house early in the month brings energy and activity to your social circle, and friendships connected to professional life are particularly active. After May 11th, when Mars moves to your 12th house, the social pace slows and more time is naturally spent in quieter, more private or one-to-one settings. Venus in your 1st house in its own sign is a strong vitality placement, making you feel physically comfortable and energized. Saturn aspecting your 1st house from your 11th creates some sustained physical pressure and tendency toward tiredness if you overcommit. Manage your energy carefully and build genuine rest into your schedule. Once the Sun enters your 1st house on May 15th, your physical energy and confidence strengthen further. Mars in your 12th house after May 11th signals that sleep quality and emotional restoration become your most important health priorities in the 2nd half. Overall, May 2026 is a month of real personal confidence and financial growth for Taurus. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 2nd house from May 14th is the standout transit of the month. Be intentional about building lasting financial structures during this period rather than simply enjoying the abundance in the moment, since Saturn's consistent presence reminds you that what is built carefully now will outlast what is spent carelessly. For Gemini, May 2026 is a strong and personally significant month. Jupiter, your 7th and 10th house lord, is sitting in Gemini itself, in your 1st house, for much of the month. This is one of the most beneficial placements Jupiter can occupy for your sign. It expands your personal presence, sharpens your judgment, improves your health, and creates the general feeling that life is moving in the right direction. From May 14th, Venus joins Jupiter in your 1st house, adding charm, warmth, and relational magnetism to an already strong personal energy. Saturn is in your 10th house in Pisces, which brings serious and demanding career responsibilities but also builds real professional credibility. The month has 2 full moons, one in Libra in your 5th house on May 1st and one in Scorpio in your 6th house on May 31st, keeping creativity, health, and daily work as active themes throughout May. On the career front, Saturn as your 8th and 9th house lord sitting in your 10th house is the defining career placement this month. Saturn in the 10th demands discipline, consistent output, and professional integrity. Your work is being evaluated by people in authority, and the quality of what you produce matters more than the quantity. Mars begins the month in Pisces in your 10th house alongside Saturn, creating a forceful and ambitious energy in the career house during the first 10 days. This combination raises your drive but also your risk of conflict with authority figures if you push too hard without strategy. On May 11th, Mars moves into your 11th house, shifting professional energy toward income gains and networking. Jupiter in your 1st house aspects your 5th, 7th, and 9th houses, and the aspect on your 7th house supports professional partnerships and client relationships throughout the month. From May 14th, Venus joins Jupiter in your 1st house, and the combination of these two benefics in the Ascendant gives you powerful personal influence in professional settings. Your ability to communicate, negotiate, and build trust with professional contacts is at a high point during the second half of May. Financially, Jupiter in your 1st house aspects your 7th house, which supports income through business partnerships and client work, your 5th house which supports investment returns and creative earnings, and your 9th house which connects income to educational or overseas ventures. Venus in your 12th house in its own sign until May 14th brings some financial activity through hidden or background sources. And while there can be behind-the-scenes expenditure during this period, there is also the possibility of income from overseas or spiritually oriented work. Once Venus moves into your 1st house on May 14th and joins Jupiter, your personal earning power strengthens considerably. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 12th house, which is a useful moment for setting intentions around releasing unnecessary financial burdens or beginning a budget that accounts for hidden costs. Saturn in your 10th house earns steadily through professional effort, and income from your core work is reliable throughout May. In love and relationships, the full moon in Libra falls in your 5th house of romance and creativity on May 1st. This is one of the most romantically alive dates of the month for Gemini, with emotions and love matters running high and something important reaching a peak or point of expression. Jupiter in your 1st house continuously aspecting your 7th house of partnerships brings wisdom and expansion to long-term relationships. If you are in a committed partnership, this is a month where honest conversations about shared direction produce genuinely useful results. Saturn in your 10th house aspects your 7th house from Pisces, adding a layer of seriousness and commitment to relationship matters. Together, Jupiter and Saturn influencing the 7th house create a combination that strengthens genuine relationships and tests superficial ones. Venus entering your 1st house on May 14th and joining Jupiter is also a notable romantic moment for Gemini, making the second half of the month particularly warm and socially engaging. On the family and social front, Ketu and Leo in your 3rd house can create occasional moments of emotional distance or communication gaps with siblings or close friends. The usual flow of conversation with certain people in your immediate circle may feel less natural this month, and that is a passing pattern rather than a permanent shift. Mars in your 10th house early in the month and then moving to your 11th house from May 11th keeps your professional and social life active throughout May. Jupiter in your 1st house makes you naturally enjoyable company, and the social quality of the month overall is warm and positive. Family relationships connected to the home and mother are influenced by Saturn aspecting your 4th house from the 10th, which can create some practical demands around home management or property-related matters. Health in May is well supported by Jupiter in your 1st house. Overall vitality, recovery ability, and general physical well-being are all boosted by this placement. The main health caution is Mars and Saturn together in your 10th house at the start of the month, which creates significant mental and professional stress that can manifest physically as tension in the upper body, disrupted sleep, and nervous system overload. After May 11th, when Mars moves to the 11th house, this pressure eases considerably. The full moon in your 6th house on May 31st brings health and daily routine matters into focus at the end of the month. Use this as a checkpoint to assess how your physical habits are holding up and whether any adjustments are needed. Venus joining Jupiter in the 1st house from May 14th adds an element of physical enjoyment and self-care that supports overall health in the second half of May. Overall, May 2026 is a genuinely positive and personally expansive month for Gemini. Jupiter in your first house is a rare and beneficial placement that elevates almost every area of life. The career demands from Saturn in the 10th are real but manageable, and the financial and relational signals are encouraging. Make the most of the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your first house from May 14th by being visible, engaged, and open to the good things this combination brings. For Cancer, May 2026 is a professionally significant and energetically active month, with the 10th house of career receiving some of the most concentrated planetary attention available in your chart this year. The opening 10 days set a specific tone. The Sun in exaltation in Aries is in your 10th house from the very start of May, making your professional authority, leadership presence, and career visibility strong right away. Mercury is also in your 10th house during this period, giving you sharp professional communication and persuasive presentation skills. At the same time, Mars and Saturn are together in Pisces in your 9th house until May 11th, bringing a serious and sometimes demanding energy to philosophical matters, mentors, long-distance situations, and the broader sense of direction in your life. On May 11th, Mars enters Aries in your 10th house, joining the Sun and Mercury there. From May 11th to May 15th, you have a triple conjunction of the Sun in exaltation, Mars as your 10th house lord, and Mercury all operating in your career house simultaneously. This is your peak professional window of the month, and it is as strong a career signal as you are likely to see this year. Jupiter is in your 12th house throughout May, working quietly in the background through spiritually oriented, research-based, or foreign-related areas of life. On the career front, the period from the start of May to May 11th is already productive for career matters, with the exalted Sun and Mercury in your 10th house giving you natural authority and sharp professional presence. Your work is being noticed and your communication carries weight. Pursue professional conversations, presentations, and outreach during this first window because your credibility is operating at a high level. From May 11th, when Mars enters your 10th house as the lord of that house, the intensity increases further. Mars in its own sign in your career house for the rest of the month gives you sustained professional drive, competitive edge, and the motivation to push forward on your most ambitious goals. This is when you act, not just plan. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury shift into your 11th house, turning the professional focus toward income outcomes, professional networks, and goal-oriented results from the work you have done. Saturn is in your 9th house as your 7th and 8th house lord throughout May. Any formal professional agreements or long-term career contracts deserve careful attention and detailed review before you sign or commit. Financially, Venus starts the month in Taurus in your 11th house in its own sign. This is an excellent income placement. The 11th house rules financial gains, and having Venus in its own sign here creates a natural atmosphere of financial opportunity through networks, friendships, and group-based professional connections. The full moon in Libra on May 1st falls in your 4th house and may highlight a property-related financial matter or a family financial decision that needs attention. Jupiter in your 12th house aspects your 8th house. This brings some wisdom and protection to financial matters involving other people's money, shared assets, or investment activity, but Rahu in your 8th house adds unpredictability to these same areas. Be conservative with joint financial commitments and avoid complex financial arrangements that are not fully transparent. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 11th house, which is an ideal moment to set income goals, initiate new earning streams, or make a professional move designed to increase your regular income. In love and relationships, Jupiter in your 12th house aspects your 4th house of home and emotional foundations, bringing depth and genuine understanding to private emotional life and domestic bonds throughout the month. This is a month where meaningful and intimate moments in love carry more weight than public or social expressions of affection. Venus in your 11th house at the start of May adds warmth and social enjoyment to romantic life, and relationships that form or deepen through shared social environments have real potential. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 5th house of romance, and this is the most emotionally charged romantic date of the month. Something in a romantic relationship reaches a natural peak or turning point around this date. Expressing your feelings directly and honestly produces better results than staying guarded. Ketu and Leo in your 2nd house can create some fluctuation in material security and shared family finances, which occasionally creates emotional stress in close relationships. Mars and Saturn in your 9th house until May 11th can create friction with father figures, mentors, or authority figures within the extended family, with differences about beliefs or family plans surfacing during this period. Approach conversations with patience and genuine willingness to understand other perspectives. Saturn aspecting your third house from the ninth creates pressure in communication with siblings and close relatives, so keep communications clear and direct. Jupiter aspecting your fourth house from the 12th brings genuine warmth and expansion to the home environment, with domestic life generally supportive and emotionally rich even when certain relationships require careful navigation. The strong Sun in your 10th house from the start benefits overall health and vitality. Mars and Saturn in your 9th house until May 11th can cause overexertion through travel, long journeys, or excessive physical demands, so monitor your energy during those first 10 days and build recovery time into your schedule. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 10th house, your physical drive and career ambition rise together. Channel this into productive work rather than letting it manifest as tension. Jupiter in your 12th house is a supportive influence for restorative rest, and making space for genuine downtime helps you perform better professionally. Overall, May 2026 is a month of genuine professional achievement and meaningful social warmth for Cancer. The exalted Sun in your 10th house from day 1, followed by Mars joining it on May 11th, creates a career configuration that does not arrive often. Use the first 2 weeks to advance your most important professional goals, and use the second half to convert that momentum into lasting income and relational gains. For Leo, May 2026 brings into a month of expanded fortune, professional visibility, and meaningful relationship development. The Sun, your chart ruler, begins the month in Aries and exaltation in your 9th house of luck and higher purpose. This is one of the best positions available for your ruling planet, bringing natural good fortune, confidence, and a sense that things are aligned in your favor. Jupiter is in Gemini in your 11th house of income and gains, aspecting your 3rd, 5th, and 7th houses. Venus is in Taurus in your 10th house in its own sign at the start of the month, making your career presentation and professional relationships particularly charming and effective. The month overall has a quality of outward movement, social engagement, and forward professional momentum. On the career front, Venus in your 10th house in its own sign at the start of May is a strong and favorable career placement. Venus rules your 10th house, so it is sitting in its own domain, and its presence in Taurus brings elegance, creativity, and relational skill to all your professional dealings. This is an excellent period for presentations, client meetings, creative professional projects, and situations where personal charm and communication are your key tools. On May 14th, Venus moves to your 11th house and joins Jupiter there, creating a powerful Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your income and networking house. This combination in the 11th house is one of the more favorable financial and professional signals of the month, supporting income growth through networks and amplifying the gains from professional relationships. The Sun in your 9th house at the start of the month adds a natural sense of authority and fortune to your work, and after May 15th, the Sun enters your 10th house directly, which further elevates your career visibility and professional confidence during the final 2 weeks of May. Saturn is in your 8th house as your 6th and 7th house lord, which brings some transformative pressure to professional partnerships and service-related responsibilities. Financially, Jupiter in your 11th house is the most straightforward and beneficial financial signal available for Leo this month. The 11th house rules income, gains, and financial aspirations, and Jupiter here expands all of these actively. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house from May 14th amplifies this financial energy significantly. This is your strongest financial window of the month and arguably one of the stronger financial periods of the year. Saturn in your 8th house brings some pressure to joint finances and shared assets, and there may be a financial matter connected to a partner, an inheritance, or a shared investment that requires attention and careful management. The full moon in Libra on May 1st falls in your 3rd house, which can bring financial activity related to communication, contracts, or short-term income sources to a point of clarity. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 10th house, which is an ideal moment to set clear professional and financial goals for the coming weeks. In love and relationships, Jupiter in your 11th house aspects your 7th house of partnerships continuously throughout the month. This is a steady and supportive influence for committed relationships, bringing wisdom, growth, and the desire to build something meaningful with a partner. Rahu is in Aquarius in your 7th house throughout May, which creates an intensity and sometimes unconventional quality in your closest relationships. Rahu in the 7th house can attract unusual or compelling partner experiences, and for some Leo individuals, a relationship may feel charged or unpredictable during this transit. Jupiter aspecting Rahu from the 11th brings perspective and some stabilizing wisdom to this energy. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 4th house of home and emotional foundation. This full moon can bring a domestic or family-related matter to an emotional peak, and creating space for honest conversation with family members or a live-in partner around this time is useful. Ketu in Leo in your 1st house throughout the month continues to encourage a more inward and spiritually oriented approach to personal identity and relationships. On the family and social front, Jupiter in your 11th house is excellent for social life, friendships, and group activities. Old friendships are renewed, new connections form around shared values, and social events carry real warmth and meaning. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in the 11th from May 14th is particularly warm and expansive for your social world. Mars in your 8th house at the start of the month can create some tension around shared resources or family financial matters, and this is worth approaching with calm and patience rather than urgency. On May 11th, Mars enters your 9th house, which can energize travel, education-related activities, and connections with people from different cultural backgrounds. Communication with siblings and immediate family is active and generally constructive throughout May. Health this month has a broadly positive outlook. The Sun in exaltation in your 9th house at the start of May is a strong signal of overall fortune and vitality. Ketu in your 1st house continues to create irregular energy patterns, and you may experience periods of high motivation followed by unexpected tiredness. Do not ignore these signals. Mars and Saturn in your 8th house until May 11th are a caution to manage chronic health matters and not push through physical pain or unusual symptoms without proper attention. After May 11th, Mars moves to your 9th house and the health pressure from the 8th house eases meaningfully. The Sun entering your 10th house on May 15th raises your overall physical energy and confidence in the second half of the month. Keep your daily routine consistent, especially around sleep and nutrition. Overall, May 2026 is an active, rewarding, and socially rich month for Leo. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house is the standout financial and social event of the month. Career visibility improves significantly after May 15th when the Sun enters your 10th house. Lean into the opportunities that come through your professional and social networks, because May is a month where the right connection at the right time can produce lasting results. For Virgo, May is strong and ultimately productive, with genuinely positive career signals arriving powerfully from May 14th onward and an important need for grounded patience in the first half. The planetary setup in the opening 10 days creates a specific dual pressure. Mars and Saturn are together in Pisces in your 7th house of partnerships, creating friction and serious demands in your closest relationships and formal business dealings. At the same time, the Sun in exaltation in Aries and Mercury, your chart ruler, are in your 8th house from the start of May, keeping the opening period intense and inward focus, better suited for research, analysis, and deep professional work than for outward visibility or public-facing advancement. On May 11th, Mars leaves your 7th house and enters Aries in your 8th house, joining the Sun and Mercury there. The triple conjunction of Sun, Mars, and Mercury in your 8th house exists from May 11th to May 15th, representing a concentrated and powerful period for investigative work, financial analysis, and anything requiring depth and precision. The good news is that Jupiter remains in your 10th house throughout the entire month, and from May 14th, Venus joins Jupiter there, giving the second half of May a noticeably stronger career and professional glow. Jupiter in your 10th house is the most valuable and consistent career influence throughout May. Your work is being recognized, your judgment is trusted, and meaningful professional advancement is genuinely available. From your 10th house, Jupiter aspects your 2nd house connecting career performance to financial reward, your 4th house linking professional success to emotional stability, and your 6th house supporting your ability to handle workload and workplace competition with genuine confidence. Mercury, your chart ruler, is in your 8th house until May 15th, which is excellent for research-heavy, analysis-based, and detail-oriented professional work. Before May 11th, use this window for thorough professional investigation, financial audits, and completing complex technical tasks. After May 14th, when Venus joins Jupiter in your 10th house, your professional charm, creative capabilities, and ability to connect with clients and collaborators all improve significantly, marking your best window for presentations, high-visibility meetings, and career-advancing conversations. Mercury enters your 10th house on May 29th alongside Venus and Jupiter, adding sharp intellectual energy to an already strong career combination at month's end. Jupiter in your 10th house aspecting your 2nd house is direct and favorable for income signals throughout May. Career output translates into financial reward in a fairly clear and consistent way. Venus in your 9th house in its own sign at the start supports financial gains through overseas connections, educational work, or advisory roles. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 2nd house brings a financial matter to a clear decision point early in the month. After May 14th, the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 10th house is particularly supportive for income earned through professional visibility and career achievement. Rahu in your 6th house brings some financial complexity related to ongoing obligations, health-related expenses, or competitive work situations. Manage these carefully and avoid letting irregular financial demands accumulate without attention. May opens with the most significant relational challenge of the month. Mars and Saturn are together in Pisces in your 7th house of partnerships until May 11th, creating friction, impatience, and the surfacing of unresolved tensions. Approach any disagreements during the first 10 days with genuine patience and focus on finding solutions rather than proving your point. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 8th house, the direct friction in the 7th house eases considerably. Saturn remains in the 7th throughout the month, maintaining a serious and committed tone in relationship matters, but without Mars amplifying tension, navigation becomes much more manageable. Venus in your 9th house at the start, and then moving to your 10th house with Jupiter from May 14th brings warmth, intellectual connection, and genuine enjoyment to your romantic life in the second half. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st in your 3rd house can stir up intense communication in a close relationship, so keep conversations honest and constructive around that date. Jupiter aspecting your 4th house from the 10th brings warmth and practical support to your home environment throughout the month. Domestic decisions, property matters, and family planning are positively supported. The relationship with your mother or a maternal figure carries real warmth and meaningful value. Ketu and Leo in your 12th house brings a spiritually inward quality to family life, and some family members may be dealing with health matters, private situations, or distant travel. The new moon on May 16th in Taurus in your 9th house is useful for setting intentions around overseas opportunities, educational goals, or long-range planning affecting your family and financial life. Health requires the most honest attention in the first half of May. At the start of the month, Sun and Mercury are in Aries in your 8th house, carrying an inward, transformative, and sometimes physically vulnerable energy. Combined with Mars and Saturn in your 7th house, the first 10 days create genuine pressure on your physical constitution. Do not dismiss persistent symptoms or unusual physical signals. After May 11th, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars are in your 8th house together until May 15th, which, while powerful for investigative professional work, also means the 8th house intensity peaks briefly. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury move to your 9th house and health pressure lifts meaningfully. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 9th house is a good moment to commit to consistent wellness practices. Saturn aspecting your 1st house from the 7th throughout May asks you to take personal health seriously and not delay proper medical attention for anything quietly building. Overall, May 2026 asks Virgo for patience and careful navigation in the first half before delivering meaningful professional and relational rewards in the second half. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 10th house from May 14th is the month's most positive and visible transit. Keep your focus steady, manage relationships with care during the more demanding early period, and you will find that May ends considerably stronger than it begins. For Libra, May 2026 is a month of personal power, visible presence, and real relationship activity. Jupiter aspects your 1st house directly from Gemini in your 9th house, which brings wisdom, confidence, and a broadly positive quality to everything you engage with this month. The full moon in Libra falls in your 1st house on May 1st, which puts you at the center of attention right at the start of the month. Venus, your chart ruler, is in Taurus in your 8th house at the beginning of May, before moving into Gemini in your 9th house on May 14th to join Jupiter. This Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 9th house from May 14th is one of the warmest and most fortunate combinations the month produces for your sign. On the career front, Saturn is your 4th and 5th house lord and is in Pisces in your 6th house of daily work. Saturn in the 6th is a productive and disciplined placement for career performance. It keeps you consistent, hardworking, and capable of handling professional challenges without giving up. Mars joins Saturn in your 6th house at the start of May, significantly raising your work output and competitive drive. This Mars and Saturn conjunction in the 6th house during the first 10 days of May is your most intensely productive professional period of the month. Your ability to tackle difficult tasks, outperform competition, and demonstrate real work capability is at a high level during this window. After May 11th, Mars moves into your 7th house of partnerships, shifting the professional energy toward direct engagement with clients, business partners, and one-to-one professional relationships. Jupiter aspecting your 1st house from the 9th brings an advisory, philosophical, and long-range quality to your professional reputation throughout the month. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 9th house from May 14th connects your career to overseas opportunities, educational work, and higher-level professional advisory roles. Financially, Venus is in your 8th house in Taurus in its own sign at the start of May. Venus as your 1st and 8th house lord in the 8th house creates a complex but potentially lucrative financial situation. There can be income through shared resources, inheritance matters, insurance payouts, or investment returns during the first 2 weeks of the month. The 8th house also brings financial unpredictability, and any joint financial dealings require careful review and documentation. After May 14th, when Venus moves into your 9th house and joins Jupiter, your financial energy shifts toward overseas income, consultancy, or knowledge-based earnings. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in the 9th house is a genuinely positive financial signal for income through foreign sources, higher education, or long-distance professional connections. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 2nd house of personal income, bringing a financial matter directly connected to your own earning capacity to clarity at the end of the month. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 8th house, which is a useful moment for addressing joint financial matters and setting intentions around shared asset management. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 1st house can make the opening days emotionally charged and personally significant, with something in your personal life or a key relationship reaching a peak or turning point right at the start of the month. Mars is in your 6th house early in May and then moves to your 7th house on May 11th. Mars in the 7th from May 11th onward adds passion, directness, and sometimes friction to close relationships, so be mindful of impulsive words or actions in romantic situations during the second half. Jupiter aspecting your 1st house throughout May keeps your personal magnetism and relationship wisdom elevated. Venus joining Jupiter in your 9th house from May 14th brings a warm, expansive, and philosophically rich quality to love, with relationships that grow or deepen during this period tending to be built on shared values, mutual respect, and genuine alignment of life direction. Saturn in your 6th house as your 4th and 5th house lord can create some heaviness in romantic expression, particularly for those dealing with work stress that bleeds into personal time. Ketu and Leo in your 11th house continues to gradually dissolve older social connections and friendships that have run their course, though this is not painful or dramatic but rather natural evolution. New connections aligned with your current values and direction are forming in their place. Mars in your 6th house early in May keeps your work-related social connections active and productive. Jupiter aspecting your 1st, 3rd, and 5th houses from your 9th house supports good communication with immediate family, warmth in creative social activities, and philosophical openness in how you engage with people around you. Family matters connected to home and property are influenced by Saturn as your 4th house lord in the 6th house, which may bring practical responsibilities or demands around the home during May. Jupiter aspecting your 1st house throughout May benefits your overall vitality, recovery ability, and immune function. The main health caution is Mars and Saturn together in your 6th house at the start of the month. The 6th house directly governs health, and this combination can create physical strain, inflammatory responses, and digestive issues connected to work stress. The lower back and kidneys, which are associated with Libra, benefit from deliberate attention during the first 10 days. Drink enough water, stretch daily, and manage your work demands rather than allowing them to accumulate unchecked. After May 11th, when Mars moves to your 7th house, the direct health pressure in the 6th house eases. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st in your 2nd house can affect your appetite and eating patterns around that time. Overall, May 2026 is a month of genuine personal visibility and relationship opportunity for Libra. The full moon in your 1st house on May 1st puts you in the spotlight right away, and the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 9th house from May 14th is the most fortunate transit the month offers. Career performance is strong in the first half, and relationship and financial opportunities expand in the second half. Engage with May's energy actively and intentionally. For Scorpio, May 2026 is a month of real contrasts, with the first half carrying demanding planetary combinations and the second half producing meaningful warmth in relationships and a clearer, more active professional direction. The key turning points are May 11th, when Mars moves from Pisces in your 5th house to Aries in your 6th house, and May 14th, when Venus moves into Gemini in your 8th house and joins Jupiter there. Understanding these two shifts will help you navigate the month with greater clarity and intention. On the career front, Ketu in Leo in your 10th house continues to create a detached and sometimes dissatisfying quality in conventional career settings. Some Scorpio individuals are still working through a deeper questioning of whether their current professional path reflects their actual values and capabilities. This is real and worth sitting with honestly rather than suppressing. Saturn in your 5th house as your 3rd and 4th house lord adds discipline and strategic pressure to creative and intellectual work throughout the month. Jupiter in Gemini in your 8th house supports research-intensive, investigative, and transformation-focused professional roles throughout May. From the 8th house, Jupiter aspects your 12th house, your 2nd house, and your 4th house. The aspect on the 2nd house connects specialized professional expertise directly to income growth. Mars begins the month in Pisces in your 5th house alongside Saturn, adding competitive drive and strategic sharpness to creative professional work. On May 11th, Mars enters Aries in your 6th house and joins the exalted Sun and Mercury there. This is a strong and energized combination for competitive service-based work, daily professional output, and demonstrating real competence to those who evaluate your performance. Your ability to outperform competition and handle demanding workloads improves noticeably from May 11th onward. Financially, Venus is in Taurus in your 7th house in its own sign at the start of May. Money that comes through business partnerships, client relationships, and collaborative arrangements is well supported during the opening 2 weeks. On May 14th, Venus moves into Gemini in your 8th house and joins Jupiter there. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in the 8th house brings potential financial gains through shared resources, investments, insurance, or research and consultancy work. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st falls in your 1st house and is a personally significant financial and emotional moment. Something connected to your personal finances or your sense of your own earning value reaches a peak around this date. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th falls in your 7th house and is a useful moment for setting intentions around partnership-based income and formalizing financial agreements with others. Rahu in your 4th house can bring financial activity related to property, so any property-related decisions require thorough research and clear documentation before you commit. Venus in your 7th house in its own sign at the very start of May represents one of the most harmonious relationship placements available, creating genuine warmth, physical comfort, and natural compatibility in close partnerships during the first 2 weeks. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 7th house is a powerful relationship beginning for Scorpio. If you have been considering moving a relationship into a more committed or formal phase, this new moon is a well-timed and supportive moment. After May 14th, Venus moves to your 8th house and joins Jupiter there, shifting relationship energy from surface warmth to deeper emotional intimacy and honest vulnerability. Conversations about shared finances, long-term security, and deeper emotional truths coming up between May 14th and month's end are worth having openly rather than avoiding. Saturn in your 5th house maintains a serious and karmic quality to romance throughout the month, and some Scorpio individuals are doing significant inner work around love and self-expression. Rahu in Aquarius in your 4th house continues to create change and unpredictability in your home environment, though domestic situations may feel subject to sudden or unexpected shifts. Jupiter aspects your 4th house from the 8th house, bringing resilience, depth, and practical wisdom to family matters, particularly around shared property or family financial decisions. The relationship with your mother or a close maternal figure carries particular emotional weight this month. Mars in your 5th house alongside Saturn until May 11th can create friction in relationships with children or in creative group settings. After May 11th, when Mars moves to your 6th house, energy in your immediate work community and professional network becomes more productive and purposeful. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 12th house brings a behind-the-scenes or private emotional situation to the surface at month's start. Health requires consistent and genuinely honest attention, particularly in the first 10 days. Mars and Saturn in your 5th house until May 11th create physical demands on your chest and cardiovascular system, with emotional stress from romantic or creative frustrations showing up physically. Do not let unresolved emotional pressure build without addressing it. After May 11th, when Mars enters your 6th house alongside the exalted Sun, your physical vitality and daily discipline both improve noticeably. The 6th house governs health directly, and the Sun in exaltation combined with Mars creates strong physical drive and motivation for productive health routines. This is an excellent time to begin or intensify an exercise practice, since the planetary support for physical effort is genuinely strong from May 11th onward. Saturn in your 5th house aspects your 7th, 11th, and 2nd houses but not your 1st house directly. Jupiter in your 8th house supports deep healing and is particularly beneficial for those addressing chronic or root cause health concerns with qualified specialists. Overall, May 2026 rewards patience and strategic timing for Scorpio. The challenging early period resolves into genuine relational warmth and strong physical energy in the second half. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 8th house from May 14th is the most transformative transit the month offers. Engage with it as an invitation to go deeper in your most important relationships and to build financial arrangements that reflect your actual long-term priorities. For Sagittarius, May is a month of strong personal confidence, active relationship development, and genuine creative and romantic energy. Jupiter, your chart ruler, is in Gemini in your 7th house of partnerships and aspects your 1st house directly throughout the month. This is one of the best configurations available for personal wisdom, physical vitality, and relationship growth. Saturn is in Pisces in your 4th house and aspects your 6th, 10th, and 1st houses, keeping both career discipline and personal accountability as consistent themes. The month builds in momentum from May 11th onward, when Mars enters your 5th house and brings competitive creative energy to the most expressive and joyful house in your chart. From May 14th, Venus and Jupiter conjunct in your 7th house, creating the standout relational event of May for your sign. Saturn in your 4th house as your 2nd and 3rd house lord maintains steady pressure on your home environment and on your communication and financial foundations throughout the month. Saturn aspects your 10th house of career from the 4th, meaning professional discipline, ethical conduct, and consistent professional output are being directly evaluated. Half measures and inconsistency will be noticed. Jupiter in your 7th house aspects your 1st house, your 3rd house, and your 11th house, with the aspect on your 3rd house particularly useful for career communication, clear writing, strong presentations, and making your professional voice heard effectively. Rahu in Aquarius in your 3rd house activates bold and unconventional communication, original professional ideas, and the confidence to promote your work through non-traditional channels. Mars begins the month in Pisces in your 4th house alongside Saturn, creating some domestic intensity and the potential for home-related concerns to pull on your professional energy. On May 11th, Mars enters Aries in your 5th house and joins the exalted Sun and Mercury, from which point creative professional output, intellectual confidence, and strategic thinking strengthen considerably. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury move to Taurus in your 6th house, shifting professional emphasis toward disciplined daily effort and service-based performance. Venus is in Taurus in your 6th house and its own sign at the start of May, supporting income through daily professional effort, service-based work, and health or wellness-related ventures. Jupiter in your 7th house aspects your 11th house throughout the month, creating a steady and supportive signal for income through partnerships, collaborative work, and client relationships, representing a reliable income configuration for Sagittarius in May. On May 14th, Venus moves into Gemini in your 7th house and joins Jupiter, offering genuinely positive signals for income through business partnerships, client agreements, and collaborative financial arrangements in the second half. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 11th house brings a financial gain or professional network matter to a natural peak early in the month. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 6th house is useful for setting clear goals around daily income, managing health-related financial obligations, and committing to consistent and sustainable professional routines. May is the most relationally active and genuinely rewarding month so far this year for Sagittarius. Jupiter as your chart ruler in your 7th house and directly aspecting your 1st house offers the most auspicious available configuration for love and personal growth through relationship, with partners drawn to your wisdom, personal expansion, and the philosophical depth you bring to connections. Venus joining Jupiter in your 7th house from May 14th adds warmth, physical affection, and genuine joy to this already strong relational placement. The combination of Venus and Jupiter in your house of partnership from May 14th onward is the most romantically alive and connective period of the month. If you are single and genuinely ready for serious relationship, this window carries real potential. If you are in a committed relationship, use this period to invest in shared experiences, reminding both of you why you chose each other. The Sun and Mercury in your 5th house until May 11th bring playful and creatively expressive energy to romantic interactions in the first half, making love feel light, confident, and personally enjoyable. Mars and Saturn in your 4th house until May 11th create the most challenging domestic period of the month, bringing tension around domestic authority, family decisions, and living arrangement expectations. Avoid power struggles at home and focus on practical and mutual solutions rather than defending your position. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 5th house, the domestic pressure eases meaningfully and your social energy becomes more joyful and creatively engaged. Jupiter aspecting your 3rd house from the 7th supports warm and productive communication with siblings and close friends throughout May. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st in your 12th house can bring a private or behind-the-scenes matter to the surface at month's end. Ketu in Leo in your 9th house continues to quietly reshape your relationship with inherited beliefs and philosophical frameworks, creating space for more personally authentic thinking. Jupiter aspecting your 1st house from the 7th throughout May benefits your overall vitality and recovery capacity, representing a fundamentally protective and strengthening influence. The main physical caution is Mars and Saturn in your 4th house until May 11th, with emotional stress or domestic conflict translating into physical tension in the chest and upper body. Regular breathing exercises, daily walks, and deliberate emotional processing help significantly during the first 10 days. After May 11th, when Mars moves to your 5th house, your physical energy becomes more expressive, active, and outwardly directed. The new moon on May 16th in Taurus in your 6th house is a good moment to establish a consistent health routine, particularly one addressing any chronic or recurring patterns through daily practice rather than reactive treatment. Overall, May 2026 is a standout month for Sagittarius in love, personal growth, and creative professional expression. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 7th house from May 14th is the defining transit of the month. Engage with it deliberately and with full awareness of what it is offering you in terms of partnership and personal expansion. For Capricorn, May 2026 is a month of creative expression, domestic focus, and steady professional progress. The month begins with an intense configuration as Mars and Saturn are conjunct in Pisces in your 3rd house until May 11th. This brings strong mental energy, assertiveness, and at times friction in communication, especially in the first 10 days. At the same time, the Sun is exalted in Aries in your 4th house, bringing clarity, authority, and warmth to your home and emotional foundation. Mercury is also in the 4th house during this phase, sharpening your thinking around property, family, and domestic decisions. Venus begins the month in Taurus in your 5th house in its own sign, activating creativity, romance, and enjoyment. Jupiter remains in Gemini in your 6th house throughout May, casting a steady and supportive aspect on your 10th house of career, making it the most reliable career influence of the month. In terms of career, Jupiter's aspect from the 6th house to your 10th house supports recognition through consistent effort, service, and competence. This is not a period of sudden breakthroughs but of stable and meaningful progress built through discipline. Saturn in your 3rd house, as the ruler of your 1st and 2nd houses, emphasizes the importance of communication in your professional success. How you speak, write, and present your ideas has a direct impact on outcomes. The Mars-Saturn conjunction in the 3rd house at the start of the month intensifies communication, making it a powerful period for negotiations, proposals, and assertive outreach, but it must be handled carefully to avoid unnecessary conflict. On May 11th, Mars moves into Aries in your 4th house, joining the exalted Sun. This brings strong personal confidence and dynamic energy into your home environment. Between May 11th and May 15th, this combination can create activity and intensity in domestic matters. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury move into Taurus in your 5th house, shifting focus toward creative work, presentations, and projects that reflect your personal vision. From May 14th, Venus moves into Gemini in your 6th house and joins Jupiter, creating a supportive and harmonious work environment. This is especially beneficial for service-based professions, client interactions, and health-related work. Financially, Rahu in Aquarius in your 2nd house plays a major role. It increases ambition and opens the door to unconventional or technology-related income opportunities. Jupiter's aspect on your 2nd house from the 6th provides stability and helps you make wise financial decisions. Venus in your 5th house in its own sign during the first half of the month supports income through creative work, entertainment, education, or speculation. Saturn's aspect on the 5th house adds caution, encouraging careful and disciplined investment decisions. After May 14th, as Venus moves into your 6th house and joins Jupiter, income becomes more consistent through daily work, service, and practical effort. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 10th house brings a professional matter to clarity, often with financial implications. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 5th house is an excellent time to begin a creative project or commit to a well-considered investment plan. In love and relationships, Venus in your 5th house in its own sign during the first half of May creates one of the most favorable romantic periods of the year. Relationships feel light, enjoyable, and emotionally fulfilling. Those in relationships can experience renewed warmth and shared creativity, while singles have strong opportunities to meet someone in creative or social settings. After May 14th, when Venus moves into your 6th house, the tone of relationships shifts toward practical expressions of care, daily support, and consistency, which aligns well with Capricorn's long-term relationship values. Ketu in Leo in your 8th house continues to influence deeper emotional patterns, especially around trust and vulnerability. This is a time to move beyond guardedness and allow genuine emotional openness in close relationships. Doing so leads to healing and stronger bonds. On the family and social front, the exalted Sun in your 4th house at the start of the month brings confidence and clarity to your home environment. Family life feels purposeful and supportive. Mars and Saturn in your 3rd house until May 11th can make communication with siblings or close relatives more direct or intense. This energy can be productive for decision-making but needs to be managed carefully to avoid conflict. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 4th house, the home becomes a place of increased activity and energy. While this can be positive, it may also create moments of impatience, so handling family interactions with patience is important. The full moon in Libra on May 1st highlights career matters that may influence family dynamics, while the full moon in Scorpio on May 31st in your 11th house brings clarity in social or financial matters toward the end of the month. Health requires attention, particularly in the first half of May. Mars and Saturn in your 3rd house can create strain in the shoulders, arms, and respiratory system due to overexertion or prolonged work. Maintaining good posture, taking breaks, and avoiding excessive strain are important. After May 11th, as Mars moves into your 4th house, this tension reduces, and your energy becomes more stable. Jupiter in your 6th house supports overall health, recovery, and resilience throughout the month. The new moon on May 16th in your 5th house is a good time to start a physical activity that feels enjoyable, such as sports, dance, or creative movement, ensuring consistency without pressure. Overall, May 2026 is a productive and balanced month for Capricorn, blending creativity, domestic focus, and steady career growth. The early intensity from Mars and Saturn eases after May 11th, and the second half of the month becomes more harmonious and expansive. With Venus enhancing creativity and relationships, and Jupiter supporting career progress, this is a time to use discipline and inspiration together to build results that last beyond the month. For Aquarius, May is a month of meaningful creative expansion, personal confidence, and strong relational warmth. Jupiter, your 2nd and 11th house lord, is in Gemini in your 5th house of creativity, romance, and strategic intelligence. Jupiter in the 5th house is one of the most joyful and expansive placements available, and from there it aspects your 9th house, your 11th house, and your 1st house directly. The Jupiter aspect on your 1st house throughout the month keeps your personal confidence, wisdom, and physical vitality elevated. Venus is in Taurus in your 4th house in its own sign at the start of the month, bringing genuine domestic warmth and emotional comfort to your home environment. Rahu is in Aquarius in your 1st house throughout May, continuing its work of reshaping your personal identity and sense of direction. Mars, your 10th and 3rd house lord, is in Pisces in your 2nd house alongside Saturn at the start of May, with this combination in your 2nd house connecting your career energy directly to your financial goals. The Mars and Saturn conjunction here means income from professional work requires persistent and strategic effort rather than easy or passive gains. On May 11th, Mars moves into Aries in your 3rd house, shifting career energy toward communication, presentations, negotiation, and outreach. Mars in your 3rd house makes you direct, bold, and persuasive in all professional communications during the second half. Venus moves into your 5th house on May 14th and joins Jupiter, bringing warmth, creative intelligence, and a sense of genuine enjoyment to your professional creative output during the final 2 weeks of May. If your work involves creativity, education, counseling, or any form of original expression, this is your strongest professional window. Saturn in your 2nd house as your 1st and 12th house lord keeps your professional ambitions grounded in practical financial outcomes, so do not pursue career opportunities that cannot be translated into reliable income. Saturn in your 2nd house defines the financial influence for Aquarius in May, demanding disciplined financial management, consistent saving, and an honest relationship with your income and expenses. Mars and Saturn together in the 2nd house until May 11th adds intensity and effort to income generation, with money earned during this period requiring genuine work. Jupiter in your 5th house aspects your 11th house, supporting income gains through creative work, intellectual projects, and network-based financial activity. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 5th house from May 14th offers genuinely positive signals for income from creative or educational ventures. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 9th house brings a financial matter connected to overseas work, educational income, or long-distance clients to clarity early in the month. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 4th house is useful for setting intentions around property-related finances, home-based income, or family financial planning. Rahu in your 1st house continues to attract unconventional income opportunities that may not fit traditional financial categories, but carry real potential. Ketu and Leo in your 7th house throughout May brings a reflective and sometimes detached quality to your closest partnerships, with some Aquarius individuals continuing to reassess what they genuinely need from their most important relationships. This introspection is productive if it leads to honest conversations rather than quiet withdrawal. Jupiter in your 5th house aspecting your 1st house keeps you personally magnetic and increasingly self-aware, which over time becomes one of your most attractive qualities to a partner. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction in your 5th house from May 14th is the most romantically warm period of the month, with love feeling joyful, creative, and genuinely pleasurable during the second half. The full moon in Scorpio on May 31st in your 10th house can bring a professional, or public, situation to a peak that affects your personal relationships indirectly, so keep your work and personal life appropriately separate to avoid one area creating unnecessary pressure. Venus in your 4th house at the start creates domestic warmth and a natural inclination toward comfortable, intimate expressions of affection within the home environment. Venus in your 4th house in its own sign at the start is one of the best domestic placements available, with your home environment feeling comfortable, aesthetically pleasant, and emotionally nourishing during the opening 2 weeks. Family relationships are warm and generally supportive during this period. After May 14th, when Venus moves to your 5th house and joins Jupiter, your social energy becomes more outwardly expressive and creatively engaged. Social activities involving creativity, entertainment, and intellectual stimulation are particularly enjoyable and productive during this period. Jupiter aspecting your 11th house from the 5th keeps your broader social network active and supportive throughout the month. Saturn in your 2nd house can create some gravity around family financial conversations, so handle any shared money matters directly and without avoidance. Jupiter aspecting your 1st house from the 5th throughout May benefits your overall vitality, immunity, and recovery capacity, representing a fundamentally strengthening influence on your physical health. Rahu in your 1st house continues to create irregular energy patterns, and you may notice unpredictable fluctuations between high energy and unexpected tiredness. These fluctuations are real and deserve actual rest rather than being pushed through. Saturn in your 2nd house can affect your appetite, throat, and the quality of nourishment you provide yourself. Eat regular meals at consistent times, stay hydrated, and take your nutritional needs seriously this month. Mars and Saturn in your 2nd house until May 11th can create some tension in the jaw, neck, and throat area. After May 11th, when Mars moves to your 3rd house, this specific tension eases. The new moon on May 16th in your 4th house is a good moment to commit to home-based wellness practices such as regular cooking, improving your sleep environment, or beginning a consistent morning routine. May 2026 is a month where Aquarius finds genuine joy, creative expansion, and personal confidence. Jupiter in the 5th house is the month's most sustained gift. The Venus and Jupiter conjunction from May 14th in your 5th house amplifies that joy further. Use this energy to invest in the creative projects, relationships, and personal practices that genuinely nourish who you are becoming. For Pisces, May 2026 is a deeply transformative and somewhat intense month, shaped by powerful personal transits. Saturn is positioned in Pisces in your first house, placing steady pressure on your physical body, identity, and overall direction in life. At the same time, Mars begins the month also in your first house alongside Saturn, creating a concentrated buildup of energy that can feel overwhelming, especially in the first 10 days. This combination increases physical strain, impatience, and inner tension. A major shift occurs on May 11th when Mars moves into your second house, easing much of this pressure and allowing your energy to stabilize. Throughout the month, Jupiter remains in Gemini in your fourth house, providing a steady and supportive influence, especially through its aspects to your 8th, 10th, and 12th houses. In terms of career, Jupiter plays a central role as your 1st and 10th house lord, positioned in the 4th house. From here, it aspects your 10th house, creating strong support for professional growth, recognition, and increased responsibility. This is a month where your work can gain visibility, and your efforts can lead to meaningful progress. The Sun begins the month exalted in Aries in your second house, bringing confidence, authority, and clarity in financial and professional matters. Mercury is also in the second house at the start of May, sharpening your communication and making negotiations more effective. This combination makes the first half of the month especially powerful for financial discussions, salary negotiations, or closing important deals. After May 15th, the Sun and Mercury move into your third house, shifting focus toward communication, networking, and short-distance professional travel. This is a period where outreach, marketing, and direct communication become key to career progress. Saturn in your first house, as the ruler of your 11th and 12th houses, connects your career with foreign opportunities, remote work, and income through organizations or networks. At the same time, Ketu in Leo in your 6th house helps reduce workplace conflicts and daily friction, allowing you to focus more clearly on your responsibilities and performance. Financially, the exalted Sun in your second house during the first half of May is a strong indicator of income growth and financial confidence. You are more aware of your value and better positioned to assert it. Mercury supports this by enhancing your ability to communicate effectively about money. The first 2 weeks are ideal for financial negotiations, agreements, or major decisions related to income. After mid-month, when the Sun and Mercury shift into the third house, income may come more through communication-based work, short-term projects, or business activities. Jupiter's aspect on your 12th house supports financial matters connected to foreign sources, overseas clients, or investments that operate behind the scenes. From May 14th, the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in your 4th house brings a warm and supportive financial influence, especially related to property, home-based work, or family decisions. The full moon in Libra on May 1st in your 8th house may bring clarity to shared finances, joint assets, or investment matters early in the month. In love and relationships, Saturn in your 1st house continues to aspect your 7th house, testing the strength and authenticity of your partnerships. Relationships built on respect and shared values grow stronger, while those lacking a solid foundation may feel strained. The full moon on May 1st in your 8th house can bring emotional intensity, revealing deeper truths, vulnerabilities, or shared concerns within relationships. Venus begins the month in Taurus in your 3rd house, enhancing communication, connection, and bonding through conversation, shared interests, and local experiences. After May 14th, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your 4th house brings emotional warmth, comfort, and depth to your relationships. This is a highly supportive period for strengthening emotional bonds, improving home life, and creating a nurturing environment. Ketu in your 6th house plays a helpful role by reducing daily distractions and routine pressures, allowing you to focus more on meaningful emotional connections. On the family and social front, Jupiter in your 4th house provides strong support throughout the month. Your home becomes a place of comfort, healing, and emotional stability. Relationships with family members, especially your mother or maternal figures, carry warmth and significance. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction after May 14th enhances this energy, making it an ideal time for home improvements, meaningful family interactions, and creating a peaceful living environment. During the first part of the month, Mars and Saturn in your 1st house may create irritability or impatience that can affect family dynamics. It is important to manage this energy consciously to avoid unnecessary conflict. After May 11th, when Mars moves into your 2nd house, this tension reduces, and the home environment becomes more harmonious and stable. Health is a critical focus for Pisces in May 2026, particularly in the first 10 days. Saturn in your first house creates ongoing physical pressure, reducing vitality and increasing fatigue. Mars joining Saturn amplifies this, raising the risk of overexertion, stress, or minor health issues. This combination requires careful attention to rest, nutrition, and overall well-being. Ignoring these signals can lead to exhaustion or more significant concerns. After May 11th, as Mars moves out of your first house, physical pressure begins to ease, and recovery becomes more noticeable. Jupiter's aspect on your 8th house supports deeper healing, making this a favorable time to address underlying health issues rather than just surface symptoms. Ketu in your 6th house may bring some unpredictability in routines, so flexibility in health practices is important. The new moon in Taurus on May 16th in your 3rd house supports adopting simple but effective habits such as breathing exercises, light movement, and stress management techniques. Overall, May 2026 is a month that demands balance, awareness, and strategic timing for Pisces. The first 10 days carry the most intensity due to Mars and Saturn in your 1st house, requiring patience and self-care. After May 11th, the energy becomes lighter and more manageable. Jupiter in your 4th house provides a stable and supportive foundation throughout the month, while the exalted Sun in your 2nd house offers strong financial opportunities. The second half of the month, especially after the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, is ideal for rest, emotional connection, and strengthening your home and personal life. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the sidereal zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions. The real impact depends on your dasha cycles and your individual birth chart. For a personalized analysis or consultation, feel free to reach out. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And now, you can also hype this video to boost it within the community. Your support helps this knowledge reach more people who may benefit. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.